Welcome back, Formula One fans. As you might be guessing, I'm missing the Formula One just as much as you this winter break. So today we'll be taking a look down memory lane and looking at the 2017 Formula One season. The season that introduced the new, wider, faster, more aggressive vehicles that, in my opinion, were quite good looking. I really liked them. Disappointment for some teams, championship challenges from Ferrari and Sebastian Vettel, teammate drama, young rookies proving themselves, young rising stars proving they have what it takes to go toe to toe with the best of the best consistently, and brought some interesting twists and turns throughout the course of the season. But first, we have to talk about the championship challenge from Ferrari and Sebastian Vettel. It started off well. They won Bahrain, they won Australia. They were doing pretty good. Till the summer break, he won 4 races. He won Hungary, he won there, in Hungary, yeah, Bahrain, Australia, and Monaco. Pretty good, but could be better. Hamilton won China. Hamilton won Silverstone. Hamilton won. Can't remember the other ones. Been a while since 2017. But point I'm trying to get across is he did well. He did good. He did good. Summer break came. He couldn't win Belgium. He was never going to win Belgium. Car wasn't fast enough in a straight line. But he put a good fight, got second place, still leading the championship. Monza came along, finished third in Monza. Seems pretty good. Third place, top three, podium. You're doing pretty good with that. Botched it, lost the championship lead. 3-point deficit heading out of Monza. But, next track Singapore. That's a track suits Ferrari. Mercedes should be pretty bad there. And that's what it looked like it was, Hamilton was down in fifth. He was on pole position. Between him and Hamilton was his teammate, Verstappen. There were plenty of cars there. This should have been the perfect opportunity to retake the championship lead before you head to Japan and Malaysia. Tracks that won't suit you as well. So he has hopes are high for this race. About 5 seconds in, hopes are dashed. Start line mayhem. He botched it. He botched it pretty badly, actually. It was mostly his fault, too. If you drove in a straight line, it probably never would have happened anyway. So you have that. Then he had his engine issue in Japan, causing him DNF. Hamilton won that race, too, so that's 50 points. And due to qualifying troubles in Malaysia, he starts down at the back of the grid, gets up to fourth place. Hamilton finished second, loses some more points there. Then you go to Austin. That's been a happy hunting ground for Hamilton his whole career at that point. Finished second. Hamilton finished first. Championship lead grew again. Then you go to Mexico, where the championship was sealed. Hamilton won. So those crucial races just after the summer break really cost Vettel in this scenario. He could have done better. Actually, he couldn't have done better. The races he finished, he did the best he could. Except Mexico. Mexico, him and Hamilton had a little incident on the first lap. But besides Mexico, the races he finished, he did the best he could. Second place at a point in time was what that car was capable of getting. It was no longer worth it. He won Brazil the race after, though. The race after he lost the championship, he won. That's also because Hamilton was starting in the back because he crashed. But we'll skip that part. McLaren and Fernando Alonso still continue to struggle. Fernando Alonso dipped. He didn't do one of the races. He went to Indianapolis, where his Honda engine also broke down. Man really can't catch a break. But he was off in Indy, so he only did 19 races, and I believe, off the top of my head, he did not start / DNF'd 11 of them. He is pretty bad, but he got 5th place in Hungary with the fastest lap, so that's pretty good. I mean, he did pretty good there. But in the end, McLaren and Honda had a very costly, expensive divorce. Honda went to go to AlphaTauri now, but at the time it was called Toro Rosso. Red Bull second team. Red Bull was keeping the eye on a Renault Honda situation, see which engine was better. They switched to Renault. Fernando Alonso was pretty happy. He won his championships with Renault. McLaren at this point were pretty happy with the end, the divorce with Honda. But that relationship didn't work because of the attitude that McLaren and Honda both had with each other. It's not on, mainly on McLaren. They didn't really behave properly. Then you had young rookies like Lance Stroll, Canadian hero, podium, Azerbaijan Grand Prix, first rookie podium since Lewis Hamilton in 2007. He was doing pretty good. Uh, he was replacing Felipe Massa, who was his teammate, who was replacing Bottas for leaving to go to Mercedes because Rosberg retired. Williams at this point were still pretty decent. They could still consistently finish in the top 10. So he just had to do his own thing, not crash in Azerbaijan, I guess. He did really good. And based on that season, you would have assumed he would have gone upward trajectory. He didn't. He really leveled off. He hasn't got much better. He's like Ben Simmons. Hasn't improved much since he got there. In fact, if anything, he's gotten worse. Now that his dad owns the team he's employed for, he's gotten even worse. Sometimes. Towards the tail end of 2023, he got pretty good. Vegas was pretty good. Brazil was pretty decent. Abu Dhabi was pretty decent. So he's good like 50% of the time, I guess you could say that. 50% of the time, we'll say. Then you had teammate drama at Force India. They kept crashing into each other. Crashing each other at Baku. Threw away guaranteed podiums for both drivers at that point. Crashed again in Spa. It got so bad the team banned them from racing each other. Ruined their working relationship before it even really started. Both drivers have gone on to go do better, greater things with different teams, but didn't help Force India, especially because they were in desperate need of money. They were broke. Fun fact: Sahara Force India, the full title of the team, both guys were scammed. The guy who owned Sahara, the title sponsor, he was in trouble for money laundering or something in India, and the guy who owned Force India was also in trouble in India for like investment fraud. I kind of find that amusing. Both parties were both shady business people. I think that's funny, personally. I think that's kind of ironic. And then you have up and coming teams like Haas trying to improve on their season before, which they did. They looked pretty decent, about 7th best car, but the car looked really good. I like the way it looked. They had some highlight performances, scored a good number of points both times. You also had the mid-season dropping of Julian Palmer. Sainz switched from Toro Rosso to Renault to replace Palmer. I remember that. And Gasly and Hartley split his seat for the rest of the season. And then they replaced Kvyat at the end of the season with Hartley. And then Gasly came in too. I just remembered that. I remember Sainz really helping Renault to 6th place in the championship that year. Because at this point they were starting to struggle because Palmer was being such a disappointment. Oh, I remember that. Oh, those were good times. Good times. What else? 2017 season, looking back, was quite nice. It was good. It had drama, had a good champion fight, good midfield battles, surprise podiums. Oh, we also have to talk about Max Verstappen. Forgot about that. Verstappen really further proved what he started in 2016, being a future rising star. Well, he was a rising star, but future world champion. Really laying it down, winning in Malaysia, having other phenomenal races throughout the season. Plagued by reliability issues. Canada, he was running second. I think his MGUK failed or MGUH. One of them failed, DNF'd. Threw away a solid podium. He was a good second place for that race. For some reason, I don't remember him in Abu Dhabi, so I'm going to assume he broke down there, but probably didn't. Gonna be honest. But won one race compared to his teammates. Two, him and his teammate Daniel Ricciardo did come together a few times. Hungary, they crashed into each other. But all in all, it was a pretty good season for him. Picked up podiums, picked up wins, further improved his racecraft, and later we saw what that led to. The most dominant season of all time. This was just a stepping stone to get there. But Red Bull's frustrations with Renault This was the start of the end for them. Since the rule changes, Renault were crap. They were dusty. They were musty. They were awful. And Red Bull saw an opportunity with Honda, souped them up for Toro Rosso. That went well for them. That went well for them. But can Ferrari and Sebastian Vettel strike back in 2018 and claim glory? Or are they doomed to repeat the cycle that Fernando Alonso repeated, Felipe Massa repeated, and drivers before them repeated, of just getting too obsessed with driving for the prancing horse and never actually winning for the prancing horse? I guess we'll find out in 2018.